All right, good morning, everybody. We're in San Jose, California, celebrating Eduarda Mina. What I'd like to do is apologize for all this because of the situation here and limiting everybody to join in on this service and this celebration on life. I am Erwin Mina. I'm the youngest son of Eduarda Mina, and what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about Grandma and my mom. This was in an interview that was done way back in 2012. Here goes. Eduarda Mina, Sabarez Mina, was born on October 13th, 1927 in Ciudad Villaba, Leyte, Philippines. In her 92 years, she has seen the world change. She's the daughter of Fausto Sabarez and Marta Duha. She's from a family of 4 brothers: Ardencio Sabarez, Martin Sabarez, Julian Sabarez, and Saturnino Sabarez. She had 4 sisters, or actually she's part of 4 sisters: Asuncion Tomasa Sabarez, Heroncia Sabarez, and Eduarda Sabarez is my mom. She was the second youngest of the 4 brothers and 4 siblings of sisters. Uncle Titing, Uncle Martin being the youngest. As a teenager, she witnessed and endured the horrors of war during World War II and was on the run as a refugee in Leyte from 1942 to 1945, a real survivor. She met my father, Silvino Mina, as he was part of the 1st Philippine Infantry fighting to take back Leyte from the Japanese. They courted and were married. Eduarda Sabarez Mina was a war bride now. In 1945, the military marriage application was signed, and that was in June 1945. Their modest wedding was at Camp Balating, south of Ormoc, in a place called Baybay. In Ilocano, it's Baybay City, meaning beach city. And it was August 23rd, 1945, was their official judge wedding in Ormoc, Leyte. My older sisters, Carmela and Anita, and older brother Sam were born following the war. Eduarda and Silvino Mina had a modest life in the Philippines, but decided to leave the Philippines for the United States as a sacrifice for their children to have a better life and opportunity. They departed Manila, Philippines, February 11th, 1954, aboard the USS President Cleveland via Yokohama, Japan, and Hawaii. They arrived on March 18, 1954 in San Francisco, where they settled in Ducor, California, at the Visit Ranch from 1954 to 1958, 4 years. 4 years later, amazingly, they purchased and built their first home in Delano on 1409 Ellington Street in 1958. In 1963, my dad moved our family to the Gozanich Ranch to take on the responsibility of being the foreman of the camp operations, and my mom took on the responsibility as a camp cook in charge of operations, procuring the supplies and cooking the feed over 100 men, 100 farm laborers, 3 meals a day until November 1970. That was 7 years. This was a turbulent time in 1970. The civil rights movement was happening. Vietnam War was still fresh and happening. And this was the time of the great labor strikes. The world was upside down. In 1970, our family moved to 1425 Ellington in Delano, where my mom, Eduarda, lived from 1970 to 2018, almost 48 years. When my mom and dad arrived in the United States with little money, they were met with poverty, discrimination, racism, and the overwhelming language barrier. My mom never allowed the negativity of the hardships into her heart. Instead, she stayed with her message to all of my family to meet the hardships with love, education, and to seek a better life as the first priority. At night, after a long day of cooking for over 100 men, 100 farm laborers at the camp or working in the fields, she and my dad would always remind us of their wish for us to escape the poverty by gaining a higher education and having a better life. Not to be like them, farm laborers crawling around in the fields to make a living. Agkakarayam kagagripan. The irony is that my sisters and brothers and I purposely worked to be like my mom, to be hardworking, honorable people, regardless of the manner of how we made a living. We live by the sweat of our hands. This was a quote from Mariano Natividad through his son, Cristito Natividad. My mother, throughout the years, has affected many people. She has helped many people come into the United States and get situated in housing, jobs, education, and start a new life. I look out and see people, even in virtual world, that she has helped. You know who you are, every one of us here. At the risk of bragging about this amazing woman, bragging was met with disdain by my dad. He called it burot, but here goes. Eduarda Mina only completed her education up to 4th grade, but is responsible for our family's higher education achievements, all of which are dedicated to her. 14 bachelor's degrees, 5 masters, 1 doctorate. From higher learning institutions such as University of California, Berkeley, Yale, USC, University of Irvine, UC Riverside, UC Santa Cruz, Einstein Institute, San Jose State University, University of Arizona, Cal State Los Angeles, Cal State Hayward, Pratt School of Art, New York, Siena, and finally, Golden Gate University in San Francisco. Yielding several teachers, a principal, a doctor, businessman, a chief investment officer, and owner of a global artificial intelligence company, investment company, a Division I men's golf, maybe golf coach, maybe the first in our country's history for a Filipino American to have this job, and of course a lawyer. All decent people. Eduarda Mina has achieved her wish for all of us getting a higher education and having a better life. An idea she and my dad started so many years ago. I could say that she's a true steward of an educated society. They say if a person is judged by how much she is loved and how much she has given love back, my mom is the wealthiest person on the planet. Mom always knew when I was struggling with life stresses. She would say, "Hinay, hinay, basa pununa, isi laan." For the folks in Leyte, that hopefully I did it justice. My mom never hurt me in my life. But when she passed away, she broke my heart. Thank you, Mom, for your love, sacrifice, keeping our family focused, and being my personal role model and hero. I love you.
Hi, I'm Sam Mina. I'm the 3rd child of 6 siblings and the eldest son. Mom's remarkable life was a testament to hard work and perseverance, to hope and courage, and to love and laughter. At Mom's last healthcare conference, my brother and I were there in the conference, and they were trying to assess Mom's overall health and condition. The question was asked, did your mother have any major hardships or difficulties in her life? And me and Erwin looked at each other and where do we start? And so we went over it. We talked about Mom surviving the grinding poverty of the Philippines, surviving the horrors and the cruelty of World War II and the details of how bloody that whole event was. And Mom was so resilient and so strong. What courage it took for her to do that. Like Erwin said, she left the country after she married my dad, the only country she knew. They sold everything with very little knowledge of English and set out to America. They had a vision, and Mom stuck to it. She was very, very focused. Mom raised 6 children on a farm worker's wage. And to this day, it amazes me. And Mom was so proud of that. She would always say how that was her biggest pride. And thank you, Mom, for that. Early on in Mom's married life, she lost 2 sons. And later, my sister Grace, later on in life, which was shattering and pretty devastating. Mom was resilient. Somehow she was able to move on. And Mom, I think a lot of her strengths was that she was a role model. You know, when she said to work hard, she wasn't kidding. We experienced it. We knew it. We lived it. Even when Mom's health was deteriorating and she was in pain, Mom somehow found a way to remain funny and upbeat. She was grateful for what she had, and she found comfort in her faith. After that meeting with Erwin and I at that health care conference, the administrators at the facility, they said, "Oh my God, your mom she's awesome." They were awed at what Mom had done and how she carried her life. And after that, they were saying, how could this old lady in a wheelchair have done so much? And after that meeting, it kind of reinforced what we all knew about Mom, that she was a remarkable and extraordinary woman. There were a whole lot of things, a whole lot of memories about Mom, and I bet you Erwin and Mila and Nita and Gina, we all could have had different stories. So just a few stories, just to explain how Mom sacrificed so much for us. When we arrived at the visitors camp, there was no hot running water, and I remember Mom carrying buckets of cold water, putting it on the stove, warming it up, and then she would pour it into this old green oil drum. And Mila would take a bath first. She got all the clean water, and then Nita was next, and then I got my bath. And then they would take the garden hose, and then they would rinse us off, and we were ready to go for school the next day. There was no shower, no bathtub, no flushing toilets. Mom would hold my hand at night and walk me through the outhouse, which was really, really scary, and shine a flashlight so I could see. And she would hold my hand, and then she would stare it while I was doing my thing. And later on, I realized, you know what, Mom did that for Mila. She did it for Anita. She did it for me. She did it for Gina. She did it for Gracie later on. And that's dedication to her children. That's real love. In another story, another memory, Erwin was saying we moved to Bazanich camp. During picking season, there was this plant that would grow. I don't know what they call it in English. They call it kalunai, and it would give me all kinds of hay fever, and my eyes would swell up, and I'd get asthmatic. And Mila knows because Mila was allergic like me. Mom would show up with her bottle of Vicks, which was the cure-all for everything. And whenever you're in pain, Mom had Vicks. And Mom would be rubbing my back, and my dad would be putting eye drops, and she would say to me, in Ilocano, she'd say, Anu sambaro, nagriga tibiag. And that would be, son, you have to overcome this. You have to persevere. Life is hard. And in Ilocano, she would say, when you get to college, it's not like if you go to college. She said, when you get to college, you will leave the field behind, and you'll have opportunities for a better life. And that became the mantra of our family. That was the mantra for Erwin, for Mila, for all of us in between. Thank you, Mom, for instilling that in us. I always remember Mom for having a great attitude and a wonderful sense of humor. Mom was really funny. Not too long ago, I had to go to one of her appointments with a hearing doctor. And so there were two tests. The first test was word association. So the doctor would say cowboy, Mom would say cupboard. And then he would say stairwell, and then Mom would say starfish. So for 20 moments, Mom was saying the wrong thing. I think she got 2 out of 20 right. So Mom, while that's happening, I look at her, and then she looks up at me, and she kind of snickering, like, I got this, piece of cake, right? So the next test was, Mrs. Mina, if you hear a sound, raise your hand. So Mom's sitting there focusing, concentrating. You know, she's like this, and then finally the doctor says, Miss Mina, we're done. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. He turns around and he starts writing his report. I look over and Mom's still going. The machine was already turned off, and Mom was going like this. So finally, I grab her arm, and I put her last hearing aid, because she ran over the other one with her wheelchair, in her ear. And I said, Mom, it's over. And then I said, you know what, Mom, I don't think you passed. And she looks at me and she says, what do you think? They're going to flunk me? And then I look at her, and we both start cracking up, and the doctor starts looking at us, and we're laughing because, yeah, what are they going to do? Mom, send you home or what? So yeah, it was. Mom was really, really funny. Barack Obama, in a eulogy, said this. He said, our children will be the messengers of the future that we ourselves will never see. I'll say that again. Our children will be the messengers of the future that we ourselves will never see. And so here we are, Mom's messengers. Her children, her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, and future generations to come will be Mom's messenger. Mom's values were instilled in us and in my nieces and nephews and my grandnieces and nephews and so on and so on. I think her values are making us good people. Her values have made us productive and loving and compassionate and caring. And for Mom, one of the most important things, we became educated citizens. Thank you, Mom, for all you have done for us, for your love and your guidance. We will miss you and love you always. Rest in peace.
Hardworking and was loving and caring, but I want to remember Mom, the good times, her sense of humor in certain situations. I remember the story when we were living at the Visage, and Mom needed to learn how to drive, so Dad had to teach her. We had an old car, and me, Nita, and Sam were in the back seat. Dad would say, when she's driving, she would say, brake! And of course, no seatbelt, and we all tumbled to the ground. And we said, okay. Another time, a story she said was when she was driving and they had no power steering, and she was turning in. She pulled the steering wheel off. So these funny stories that Mom would tell us, and I just want to remember Mom's sense of humor and certain things. And there was one time when Sam had said at home, and he was coughing, and Mom said, what? You want a cup of coffee? So we thought, well, we better check Mom's hearing. bring mom for her hearing aid, and so we bought her the hearing aid, and then we would get a checkup, and then one time we went and they said, oh, I think that she might have an infection because there's some webs inside there, and so they checked her again, another doctor, and then the other doctor came back and said, your mom's fine. And she showed us a little piece of the Q-tip that was inside her ear. And so we thought, oh, we're so relieved. And so we were telling Sam on the way home, Sam, can you imagine? That was in mom's ear? And Corey and I were laughing, and Sam was laughing, and I looked at her, and mom said, you wait till you're 90. So lots of fun things, and that's what we want to remember mom, because we want to be remembering all those good times to lighten our hearts, because right now it's heavy. And so I just want to say thank you, Mom, for all the wonderful things that you did for us, and we'll miss you. Love you, Mom. We all love you too.
I'm Anita, second daughter. Memory of recent loss is a montage, like flipping through a photo album of all the years. It comes to mind in no particular chronological order. It creeps up unexpectedly, unbidden, triggered by a particular vision or situation, or by a gesture or turn of phrase. Sometimes it comes as a tsunami of emotions, or a soft, sweet stillness, or a smile or a chuckle. Each of our memories are filtered through a different lens, informed by age, birth order, and circumstances. Consequently, no two can share a memory in exactly the same way. Each of us are here representing a constellation of family members and dear friends who cannot be here. In particular, my children, Kyla, Jada, and Shanique, and their families, as well as my sister Gina and her family. There will be another time and place to fully celebrate our memories, to laugh, cry, and cherish. How does one distill the essence of Eduarda Mina's life adequately in a few words? It is not possible, but I think we can all agree that she had a vision that she could overcome considerable adversity, war, immigration, poverty, limited educational opportunities, to see her children highly educated. She was fiercely proud to have achieved this. That is her legacy, our legacy. She was determined, hardworking, smart, adept at languages, gregarious, and incredibly funny. She had a charisma that drew people to her. They loved her contagious laugh and raucous and sometimes irreverent sense of humor. This is a poem that Shani and I found and shared at Gracie, our sister's passing. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I'm not there. I do not sleep. I'm 1,000 winds that blow. I'm the diamond glints on snow. I'm the sunlight on ripened grain, and I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I will not die. Thank you, Mom. The essence and memories of Eduarda Mina will live in our hearts. Thank you. Today is my granddaughter Ella's birthday, and I was able to tell Mom that both Jada and Shanique are going to have a baby this year.
How about that? Announcement for Eric as well. He's expecting his second son. So, our family's growing. It's a great thing. Nita? I'm gonna help shut that. Don't sound shut that.